And we're back after a brief break. You've just heard from Adam Rodriguez. He's running the Republican primary for County Court at Law Number 5. Everybody get out there and vote. This is going to be a barn burner of an election. And speaking of barn burners of elections, we have got on someone who wants to be your next county commissioner, and he's running against two other tough customers, and it is going to be a race. So we need everybody out there to come out and vote, and there may or may not be a runoff. So remember, that's going to be after Memorial Day. But I have the honor of bringing on Norm Baker. God willing, you're next county commissioner.
Well, I hope so too. I mean, that's why I'm running. So to give you a little background on me, I was born and raised in central Illinois with a family of 4. I went to Eastern Illinois University and got a Bachelor of Business there, and probably one of our most famous graduates is Tony Romo. So he was a couple years behind me. I moved to Corpus Christi in 1987. I've raised 6 kids, paid a lot of tuition. I'm really proud of that. I have 6 grandkids, so I'm not a novice of being around kids. And I've been thinking about running for a county commissioner. I thought about it the last time, and I talked to both candidates last time, and decided I was persuaded not to run. I'm very excited about running in this race. I know I have 2 very tough opponents that have been in politics a long time. I think it's going to be a very interesting race. I'm trying to run a very positive race, and my 2 opponents are somewhat negative towards each other, but I guess they haven't found anything bad about me yet, so they've been kind of leaving me alone. It's going to be a tough race, but I'm looking forward to it, and it's brought out a lot of interesting subjects, and the biggest one is taxes, and that's I'm really happy about. I'm glad we're talking about taxes and how we get to the tax bill that you pay, and I'm strongly against taxes. I want to do whatever I can to try to keep those down. I've been involved in local politics not long after I've got here. I belonged to the Padre Island Business Association for 20 years, served on their board. I was with a group of people that started the Padre Island Political Action Committee, and I was the president for 2 years there. And I think we achieved a lot. Our biggest goal was to get voter turnout increased, and we got it increased our first year by about 10%. I think we were very responsible for getting our slate of candidates elected. Joe Adami was actually kind of floundering with his race at the time, but when he got our endorsement, he has said that's what kicked off his campaign, and he went on to win. So felt real good about that. Actually, at the end of my 2-year term as president, I really wanted to run another year because I didn't think we had accomplished all of our goals. But our bylaws stated that you couldn't run 2 years. So I had to step down, but I really learned something from that. I learned that, we got a new president, new board members, and I went to the first meeting, and I was just overwhelmed by the fact that we had new people in there, and we had new ideas. They looked at the same goals and the same things we were trying to accomplish, but because they were new, they had different ideas how we could get there. And I think that's what we need on the county court too, and that's one of the reasons I'm running. I'm running against two politicians that have been around here for a long time, and so that's one of the reasons I'm running. I've also been a businessman my whole life. I have not worked for anyone but myself since I was 24 years old.
Amen.
Yeah, it's been a real interesting life, and I guess I've been more lucky than good, and I'd rather be lucky than good. Started several different companies, some of them done real well, some of them not so well. I think I learned more from the ones that failed than the ones that succeeded. Still have one active company left that I'm a major stockholder in, and that's a plastic manufacturing company that has plants in Champaign, Illinois, and Brownsville, Tennessee, which is close to Memphis. And so I'm still a board member there, and I attend meetings a couple of days every month, and that company's doing real well.
Well, let me stop you there. You know, you've answered the basics with the voter. I think they know you're a family man. You're a self-starter. You helped turn that island around. It used to be Robstown that controlled the main elections and everything. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's talking that the island, you've got to take the island, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, in November. So you've helped build that base up. So you have a great chance of winning. Nothing is impossible, and you've got just as good a chance because you've got that great base set up. Let's talk about politics. They are giving each other pretty hard punches.
Yeah, they are.
Chesney on one hand is saying McComb raises taxes. McComb on the other hand gave him a couple of uppercuts and said he had decided what he wants to do when he grows up, you know, and they said it back and forth to each other. Let's cut through all the politics, the rhetoric. I think the Republican primary voter and the general, this is a Republican election. Mm-hmm. Why should they vote for Norm Baker, and some believe is the better alternative between two politicians?
Well, let me say that in terms of what my two opponents are saying, in most respects about taxes, they're both right. Joe McComb has not raised the rate. Being on the county court, he has not raised the rate that they set. But in fact, what Brent Chesney says, the effective rate they have raised. Now, it's confusing to most voters, but the effective rate is the rate that includes increase in valuation and new buildings coming on, both residential and commercial. So in effect, they have somewhat raised the rate, but in my impression, they are both missing the problem. In my precinct 4, the problem is the appraisals.
Oh, God.
Not the rate, the appraisals. Now, since I've lived here,
you guys are getting killed out there.
We're getting killed. And it's not only the island, I mean, it's on the south side too. We're getting killed in appraisals. And I probably have the best story to tell about appraisals that anybody in Nueces County has to tell. But that's what I want to attack, because your actual taxes are what you write the check out for.
That's
what you're paying.
That's right.
So you take the rate times the whatever your appraisal is, and that's what you write your check out for. And we have got silly appraisals in lots of cases. And what I'm proposing, if I'm a county commissioner for precinct 4, right after appraisals come out, I'm going to hold a town hall meeting. Anybody in my precinct wants to bring their appraisal in that they think they are not being treated fairly, I will get some volunteers, and God knows we got volunteers on the island. We will have volunteers. Anybody in precinct 4 bring their appraisal in, and we will categorize them, and we'll ask the county assessors to come down and explain why we've got these assessments, because there's silly stories out there. I could go on and on and on about the stupid assessments. Now, I probably had the best story of all. I ran for 20 years, I ran a part-time boat charter business on the island. And I did it actually mostly for fun, because I really enjoyed doing it. It was a fun thing to do. Met a lot of neat people. They're on vacation or people here in town. It was a lot of fun. It was not a big money thing, but I really enjoyed doing it. Probably our best year was 45, 50 charters. Well, for over 15 years, I got a tax bill for about $1,200 on the boat. 3 years ago, and I paid that every year. 3 years ago, I got a tax bill for $17,900. Now, that was at a time when our charters were way down, so I wasn't even grossing 17,900. I couldn't believe it. So I went to of course, I appealed it and went before the board, and the only comp that they could find was the flagship, which has been sold, but they might as well compared me to the Lexington as to try to compare me to the flagship. I mean, there was no comparison at all. To shorten up this story, I lost my appeal, and I had to pay the tax.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. From $1,200 to $17,900. And see, the way the law is set up, it's you against them. And they can do basically whatever they want to do. Now, in my case, I hired an attorney. We took him to court. And after about 6 months, my attorney had worked a settlement out with their board that he said was the best deal that I should take, which was half of the tax, which was still pretty high.
Still about 4 or 5 times the rate you had paid.
Right. And I also had to sign an affidavit that if I don't charter, they won't tax me. So there is a perfect example of a government entity putting somebody out of business.
And you know, the thing that I always give a chance for is I want you not only to knock on the doors of the island, but Southside, Flower Bluff, everywhere, knocking on 100,000 doors, because we now have Latino, white, black, Asian viewers, and we welcome everybody. And if you're knocking on those doors, why should they vote for you and not your opponent in the last minute we have?
Well, because, first of all, I'm running because I care. And I do want to run on this tax issue. I want to make everybody aware of what can happen to them. I think I've got the experience. I've been in business my whole life. I want to take that experience and run the county like a business. I think in the future we should be able to reduce the rate, because Corpus Christi finally now is starting to grow at a very fast pace.
Schlitterbahn
is going to be great for the island. There's a lot of great things happening in our county here, and that should bring in a lot more tax revenue just by itself. So we should be able to reduce that rate. We should be able to reduce the taxes for everybody else. You know, our county has only grown at 2 or 3% since I've been here, like 2 or 3% a year since I've been here. Now we're going to grow at 8 or 10%. We should be able to reduce our taxes on our existing citizens here with this growth, because we're going to have that many more people paying in taxes, and that's what I want to do. And I don't want to be a long-term politician. I'm not going to be these positions were not set up as a career. And of course, we've got people who have made it a career, and they're way overpaid. They're paid $80,000 a year car allowance. If you're in 2 years, you get a retirement.
But you're the only one of the three that's going to be a full-time commissioner, because you're a stockholder, but you're going to be working at this full time.
Absolutely, that's why I'm running. And I'm also put out a challenge to my 2 other opponents, which they really haven't picked it up.
Well, let's get it on.
Well, I'm willing to donate my salary to charity, because I'm not interested in I'm not interested in the salary. I will donate my salary to charity. And we have some great charities here in Corpus Christi. I'm not interested in the money.
You heard that the first time on South Texas Crossfire.
Yes, you're right.
And you're going to donate that salary, and that's the first time I've heard that.
Well, that's good, because it's not that important to me. Let me throw something out for a young person. If you run for county commissioner, if you were 25 years old and you ran 2 terms, when you're done, you know what? You got a retirement for life. So I don't know why some young people out there haven't figured this out.
Oh, wow.
Because that's quite a deal, isn't it?
Mr. Baker, it's been a great visit, but what's the magic number? If people want a yard sign, T-shirt, go out and campaign and stump for you, what's the magic number to call?
They call 361-816-5190.
And that's 816-5190.
That's correct.
And we're going to have that posted up there. And we also will be playing this repeatedly throughout the voting cycle. Get out there. It's the 18th through the 28th, and March 4th is Election Day. Please get out and vote. And Norm Baker, he's running for county commissioner, and he wants to be your leader, and he's also vowed to return back his salary to charities. And now that's a first here on South Texas Crossfire. So Norm Baker, magic number is 816-5190. We're out of time. We're going to take a break. But again, Norm Baker, your next county commissioner. Hi, this is attorney and board certified nurse practitioner Joe FLores on behalf of Vasquez Flores Home Health. Nursing homes have their place, but having care in your own home is very important. Call today for more information. Backed by over 20 years of experience, registered nurse Priscilla Vasquez can answer your questions about home care. Call 881-9922. That's 881-9922 today.